Jack Turner never meant to be a hero, he just came to fix a broken elevator. But when the doors jammed and the CEO's investors began to panic, he stepped forward anyway. Minutes later, he wasn't just repairing steel, he was changing the course of Olivia Grant's life. And neither of them knew that one simple act of integrity was about to uncover something far greater than either expected. Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Let's begin. The lobby of Grant Technologies pulsed with tension. Phones buzzed, shoes clicked, and the soft hum of panic spread as the elevator doors jammed halfway open. Sparks hissed from the control panel, lighting up the marble floor. At the center stood Olivia Grant, CEO, poised, elegant, and furious. Her Italian investors muttered to each other, glancing at their watches. Millions of dollars and her reputation teetered on a single broken machine. Then, from the far end of the lobby, a man in a faded gray uniform stepped forward, toolbox in hand, calm despite the chaos. His name was Jack Turner. Maintenance. Single father. The kind of man people usually walked past without noticing. "Give me 5 minutes," he said simply. The investors exchanged doubtful looks. One scoffed in Italian, 5 minutes. Impossible. Jack's eyes flicked up. 5 minuti basteranno, he replied, fluent and effortless. The entire room froze. Even Olivia's breath caught. 5 minutes later, the elevator hummed, the doors sliding open smooth as silk. The investors broke into applause. Jack only smiled faintly and wiped his hands on a rag. "Just doing my job," he said, stepping aside. And then, a small voice called from across the lobby. "Daddy!" A little girl ran to him, clutching a coloring book, her shoes squeaking on the floor. He knelt, scooping her up in his arms, his smile soft and warm. For the first time that morning, Olivia Grant, the woman who built an empire, felt something stir inside her that no success ever had. The building had gone quiet by midnight. The echo of high heels and laughter had faded, leaving only the low hum of the city below. Olivia Grant rarely left before dawn, work was her refuge, her armor, but that night, she couldn't focus. Her mind kept circling back to the maintenance man and his daughter. Curiosity led her down to the lobby, where the faint glow of a security lamp revealed a familiar figure. Jack Turner knelt beside a flickering light panel, his toolbox open beside him. A small figure slept nearby, his daughter, curled up on a chair, wrapped in his gray jacket like a tiny cocoon. Olivia hesitated, caught between authority and something gentler. "Why is your daughter here so late?" she asked, her voice quieter than intended. Jack looked up, startled but polite. "Daycare closed early," he said simply. "Couldn't leave her home alone." Normally, that explanation would have earned a lecture about policy and liability. But Olivia didn't speak. She just stood there, watching his steady hands fix what others ignored. Moments later, she returned from her office kitchen with 2 sandwiches and a cup of hot cocoa. She set them beside him. "You skipped dinner," she said. "Heroes shouldn't do that." Jack blinked, genuinely surprised. "I'm no hero, ma'am. Just a dad trying to make it to Friday." They sat in companionable silence, the hum of the city filtering through the glass walls. Between them, the sleeping child sighed softly, clutching her coloring book. Olivia studied him, the way he looked at his daughter, the tired kindness in his eyes, and for the first time in years, she felt the sharp ache of something she'd forgotten, humanity. Sleep didn't come easily that night. Olivia sat alone in her penthouse office, city lights stretching endlessly beyond the glass. She had built her empire on precision, knowing every employee, every detail, every number. But one man now occupied her thoughts more than any quarterly report. On impulse, she opened her laptop and typed, "Jack Turner, Maintenance Division." His file appeared instantly. Sparse. Routine. But as she scrolled, a few lines made her pause. Education, University of Milan, Bachelor's in Mechanical Engineering. Languages, English, Italian, Spanish. Commendation, recognized for emergency repairs during a systems failure in 2019. Olivia leaned back, stunned. A man with a degree from Milan shouldn't be fixing elevators for a living. She opened another tab, searching through LinkedIn profiles, company archives, even old articles, nothing. He had vanished from the professional world after his wife's death 3 years ago. She rubbed her temples, the weight of guilt pressing in. How many others had she walked past without really seeing? The next morning, Olivia arrived early. Through the glass, she spotted Jack outside, his little girl skipping beside him under an umbrella far too small for two. He leaned down, holding it over her head, soaked himself but smiling anyway. For a brief second, Olivia envied them. The warmth. The simplicity. Inside, her assistant greeted her with the usual stack of reports. "Your 9 a.m. investor call is ready, ma'am." Olivia glanced at the phone, then at the rain outside. For the first time in years, the call could wait. By the next morning, whispers had already spread through Grant Technologies. The CEO had called a janitor to the 38th floor. Most assumed it was bad news. Jack Turner thought so too. He straightened his uniform in the elevator's reflection, anxiety tightening his jaw. When the doors slid open, he stepped into a world of glass and silence. Olivia Grant waited behind her desk, coffee untouched, sunlight spilling across the floor. "Mr. Turner," she said, rising. "Please, have a seat." Jack hesitated. "If this is about my daughter being here." Olivia raised a hand. "It's not. You don't owe me an apology." He blinked, confused. "Then, why am I here?" She studied him for a long moment before replying. "Because I believe you're in the wrong job." Jack frowned. "Ma'am, I fix things. That's all I do." Olivia smiled faintly. "You fixed an elevator that saved a multi-million-dollar deal. You spoke to my investors in their own language. And you did it without asking for recognition." He shook his head. "That was just timing, and a bit of luck." "No," she said gently. "That was integrity. And talent." She slid a folder across the desk, an offer letter printed on company stationery. "Technical liaison for our European division," she explained. "Full salary, benefits, flexible hours. You'll have time to pick your daughter up from school." Jack stared at the paper, words blurring. "I'm not sure I remember how to be anything more than what I am." Olivia met his eyes, her voice soft but certain. "You already are, Mr. Turner. You just forgot." By Friday morning, the entire building buzzed with rumors. The maintenance man had been promoted, not just to a desk, but to an executive floor. Some called it charity. Others whispered it was strategy. But when Jack Turner walked through those glass doors in a clean shirt and borrowed tie, he didn't hear the noise. All he could think about was Mia's smile when he told her. "Did you get in trouble, Daddy?" she'd asked, eyes wide. He laughed softly. "No, sweetheart. I think I just got promoted." She'd thrown her arms around him, whispering, "I told you fixing things makes magic." Now, standing in his small but sunlit office, Jack wasn't sure if he deserved any of it. The last few years had been about survival, not dreams. He ran a hand over the new ID badge clipped to his chest and exhaled slowly. Maybe, just maybe, things could change. That evening, Olivia called. Her tone was warm, uncharacteristically so. "There's a company dinner tonight," she said. "You and Mia should come. No pressure, just family." Jack hesitated, but Mia's excited squeal sealed the deal. Hours later, they walked into the ballroom together, the single dad in a borrowed suit, the little girl in a dress too big for her but glowing with pride. Conversations paused as they entered. Then, unexpectedly, Mia darted to Olivia and handed her a folded piece of paper. A child's drawing. A stick figure fixing an elevator, a woman beside him, both smiling. On top, in crayon letters, "Thank you for helping my dad." For once, Olivia Grant, who'd faced boardrooms and billionaires, had no words. Weeks passed, and Jack's life settled into a rhythm he never imagined possible. He arrived at work each morning not as the janitor, but as part of the team shaping the company's future. His hands still bore the same calluses, but now they built ideas instead of patching walls. Mia sometimes waited in the office lounge after school, drawing pictures for the staff who adored her. One afternoon, Olivia stopped by his workstation. "You've made quite an impression, Mr. Turner," she said, handing him a report. "Employee morale is up. Even the investors noticed." Jack smiled. "Guess kindness travels faster than gossip." That night, as the city glittered beneath the glass tower, he found Olivia again, standing in the same lobby where they'd first met. Only this time, the light above them glowed steady and bright. "You changed things around here," she said quietly. He shook his head. "I just fixed what was broken." Olivia looked at him, truly seeing him now. "You didn't just fix the elevator, Jack. You reminded us why we built this company in the first place." Silence settled between them, not cold, but warm, filled with unspoken gratitude. Jack glanced toward the glass doors where Mia waited, waving. "Time to go," he said. "Someone's got homework." As he walked out into the golden evening, Olivia watched him disappear into the crowd, his daughter skipping beside him, her laughter echoing faintly through the lobby. For the first time in years, Olivia smiled, not the polished kind that closed deals, but one that opened something far deeper. Because sometimes, the greatest repairs aren't made to machines, they're made to hearts. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more stories that stay with you.